Thanks for staying with us here on TVC Breakfast. Now, the growing menace of loan-up virulence in Nigeria has sparked widespread concern, with many citizens falling prey to predatory lending, the lending practices and harassment by unregistered loan apps. According to Dr. Marindoti, Oludare, the loan apps charge exorbitant interest rates of up to 4,000% annually and employ debt chasers who defame and harass borrowers. The Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, FCCPC, Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Federal Inland Revenue Service, Central Bank of Nigeria, and Nigeria Police Force have been accused of dereliction of duty in regulating these loan apps. Nigerians are urged to take collective action against these loan apps by rejecting partial disbursements, stopping repayment where contracts are breached, and uniting to starve these companies to death. The issue has raised concerns about the safety and security of online financial transactions in Nigeria and the need for effective regulation of the loan app industry. Now, joining us via Zoom from the United States is convener, Social Rehabilitation, Grace and Support Initiative, Dr. Oludare Marindoti. Thank you so much for joining us on TVC Breakfast. The issue of loan apps has been a serious, something way more than a menace, across for so many Nigerians who are seeking alternatives to their financial challenges, but they are taking, an opportunity of these loopholes without careful oversight by, regulatory agencies. How do you think this has really dealt with Nigerians, and exactly where did we miss it?
Thanks a lot, Ibrahim. Thanks everybody else in the studio, and thanks to the people at home for having me. I was also a victim of loan app, and you can wonder, are you living in the United States and borrowing money from loan apps? Well, if you have relatives, not necessarily direct relatives, but people that that maybe like your schoolmates that are borrowing money from them, and then you have to, help them with, you are also a victim. And the first time I got a whiff of this loan app was about 3 years ago, when one of my, colleagues from, not my classmate, but a friend that I knew from university, called me and was like, I'm frustrated, blah, blah, blah. This was a guy who, graduated, smart man, couldn't get a job, starting a business. And I had to, send him money for loan app. And I didn't pay mind to it. And then I reached back about 3 months. Have you cleared this loan app? He said no. So I was, but it didn't rise up on my SCADA or my, radar at the time. But when I came to Nigeria about, a few months ago that I was in the studio with you, one of a colleague, a nurse that we had, first worked together a couple decades ago, who was dealing at that time with a life-threatening disease that eventually took her life a few years ago, also told me about the fact that loan app people were harassing her. So this is someone who was dying, who was being harassed on a daily basis by these loan app people. So that brought it up to me. So when I had a situation whereby one of our members in, SRG, called me up to ask for money, I was shocked because I actually thought it was a scam. So I checked the WhatsApp number and called to confirm. And then, I helped this person. And then subsequently, I heard that the person also asked some other people that I know for money. So I was wondering, so I reached back out to ask, so how much do you loan this loan app? The person was a little bit unable to tell me. And then later, I realized, okay, let's pay 700,000, and then maybe this loan app, will be gone. And then later I realized that this person is still owing money and still trying to reach me. And this is someone who, would never ask for money. You are not related to them. They are people that you respect on the street. So I started to investigate. So I was like, something must be wrong, because I have now, had frequent exposure to it. I have also lost money to try to help these people pay it off. And then I now, told them to give me access to, print their bank statement and send it out to me. And then I made a few investigations. And then what I found out was that out of just wanting to borrow about maybe 120,000 to get food stuff for a period in March, within 3 months, less than 3 months, over 30 million naira had gone through the account of this particular person. Over 30 million naira in less than 3 months, which was just shocking to me, just from a basic analysis of their bank account, so a statement of account during that period. So I started to ask for more information. Give me an access to all these loan apps. And then I realized that this is what they do. Now, when you ask for money, they first take an account management fee of about 16.4%. Then they take a service fee of another 16.4%, and then a payment fee of about 8.2%. So that is to say they are taking effectively 41% of the loan before they even disburse money for you. So think about it. You have asked for 100,000 naira loan, but you get 59,000, and in a week, within 1 week, you have to pay back 100,000. Now you might think this is 41% interest rate, but no, because the interest rate will have to be based on the principal, which is always the amount of money that you got. This is about 70% interest. And I know for a fact that there was a case in 95, I think it's Akindele versus Merchant Bank, where a court in Nigeria said that any interest rate above 48% is illegal. That is a that's a case law in Nigeria. That's, I found out. So if you think about it, I said it is 36%, right? But that is within a week. And everybody knows, even if you calculate that inflation is from 1 year to another, right? July of last year to July of this year. So you always have to annualize interest rates. Now, so just analyzing that without compounding it, that is about 4,000, 3,600 plus percent of interest rates. How many businesses can you do that you will make 36 times the amount of money that you invested within a year? It is none. Then I started to investigate some of the extant laws that exists in Nigeria. And I saw that the CBN has a Guide to Charges Act that does not have any charge above 2% on any loan. And it's also a fact of the law that you must get the total amount of loan that you have asked for. Any other charge will be added on top of it. So if I ask for 100,000 naira loan, you must give me 100,000 naira and then maybe make me pay back 140,000 naira over a period of about a year. So these guys have put you in a cycle of debt, in a debt entrapment. If you do the math, if you assume, which is you have to borrow money to pay back the loan you already took. You remember you took 100,000 naira. They paid just 59,000 to you, but you have to pay back 100,000 in a week, right? If you have to now borrow money to pay that back, the next week you are now owing 169,000. Having paid back the 59,000 naira that you got in your pocket plus 41,000 naira loan that you took, you are now still owing 169,000. If you compound that for a week, you are owing about 487,000 plus. Wow. If you keep borrowing money to pay it back, in 2 months, in 8 weeks, you are owing about 4.9 million naira. If you keep borrowing to pay back that 4.9 million, in 3 months, you are owing about 33 million naira. That is the kind of trap that they are putting Nigerians in. And guess what they do? They put pressure on you. They threaten they want to defame you. And then they now give you a poison carrot, the stick of defamation and a poison carrot, whereby they say, okay, don't worry, I want to help you. Come and borrow money from this place and this other product to use it to pay us back. So essentially, they are making you get into this trap under duress. Trust me, Ibrahim, everybody in the studio, anybody can fall on hard times. If someone threatened you that you are as a public face with defamation, that is as worse as putting a gun to your head under duress. And then they force you into this trap, and then Nigerians are, falling into this trap. And some people have even taken their lives as a result of this. It was in retrospect that one of the people that I heard that committed suicide sometimes late last year, I was told that part of the problem that he had was also these loan apps harassing him, spreading defamatory information about him and all. And we have a country whereby, even though I am against the law, we have criminal defamation. There is no defamation more criminal than what these loan apps are doing, and the amount of psychological torture and tyranny that they are putting Nigerians under. But we will never see the IGP, Kayode Egbetokun, go after none of them.
Yes.
You get, we never see it.
You see, from what you have explained, some of us, let me talk about me, I'm having goosebumps. I mean, it is criminal what they are doing. And we're supposed to have regulatory agencies in Nigeria. Is it that they don't know that this is what is happening, or there's one clause somewhere that the operators of these loan apps are using to slow regulation?
No. It's so sad. Really, this is so sad. Really, this is something that sometimes brings tears to my eyes. How Nigerians are inhumane to other Nigerians. These regulators, a lot of them know. The FCCPC, you will see them make busts and put it on social media. They did one about 2 years ago. I think the chairman of the FCCPC was on TV about 2 years ago to talk about it, because I saw a lot of these videos. These people know that they are operating under the law. There was a podcast that I actually watched where I think it was I Said What I Said, where two of the former employees who used to harass people came and they've stopped working there, so they came and spoke about their their experiences, where they talk how they used to hide and everything, that they give them fictitious ID card and all. These things are not difficult to police. These regulators can also get on these apps. They have phones that use this same Google Maps. They could have gotten on these apps, applied for this loan, get this loan, and go after them after knowing the accounts that disburse the loans and all. But this is Nigeria, right? We know that while we don't have the evidence, that there are definitely going to be some of these regulators that are in cahoots with all these unscrupulous loan sharks. And that is why I want to suggest to Nigerians that we need to fight back. If your government is not going to fight for you, you have to fight these usurious loan people. And the best way to fight them is to bankrupt them, which area bankruptcy in their bank account, give them elephantiasis, money outside, none inside. Every single time that you refuse to pay them back, that is money you deprive them from using to entrap another Nigerians. So collect their money and don't pay it back. First off, if you ask for 100,000 naira and they did not pay you back your money, they have breached the agreement of the loan. They did not give you the amount of money that you asked for. Secondly, the loan rate is usurious. Thirdly, the fact that they have defamed you, you can sue them for money. And my investigation also revealed, and those guys in the also said that these are a bunch of Chinese nationals who have come to Nigeria to set up all these companies and take advantage of Nigeria. And we have government that does not defend the people. It is annoying. Last year my father told me that in the mid-80s, when he wanted to set up Oludare to his private practice, he had to go to Union Bank and he got a 30,000 naira loan. That was the 30,000 naira loan that raised me, raised my siblings, fed my family, saved a lot of lives. We don't have access to this right now, loan access. As a doctor, when I graduated, I could not even get twice my salary in loan to pay back in a year. And the president is trying to start a consumer loan program. That's exactly credit line. That is, these people are going to deprive Nigerians, because if you have had this experience with loan sharks, you will not want to access loans, and you need loans to survive. Loan is everything that we have in this country, in the United States. It's all based on loan. The rich men owe money. But we have people who are taking advantage, pure advantage of Nigerians, and the regulators are just...
For you, that well done for bringing this to book so that people can know what is happening. And the fact that you even mentioned that allegedly these are Chinese nationals that are coming up with this. You said so many things that have made a lot of sense, because I know people that have committed suicide because they couldn't pay. And also, when we talk about these people sending you messages, we will disgrace you, we will put your pictures out, is totally alarming. But then you said something again about, trying to liquidate them, take loans and don't pay back. Apart from that, if you ask me, how can we continue to hammer and make the government come in? Because with what you're saying, we really need the government to come in and protect Nigerian citizens. Because when we talk about loan, even up till now, people are still looking for ways to borrow because the economy is difficult. People are looking, market women, people are looking for how to still take loans. So when they see this juicy loan app, they don't even think about the repercussions. They just go straight into it. But with everything, I think in one way or the other, we still need the government to come in to this and protect its citizens.
Thank you very much. I have always said it on this program that the government needs to protect the consumer and support the producers. One of the ways that the government can protect the consumer is to end all these red tapes on businesses. You were talking about the president Tinubu going to Japan to try and attract foreign investment. If those people that they is trying to attract try to bring in machinery and not to come and create businesses here, they will either have to pay the stupendous import duty of 70% on their machineries and everything, or go and get a special waiver from the president. Now, businesses want to know their customers. They don't want to know their customers' government. If you end protectionism on food, and I feel like President Tinubu is failing to learn the lessons of SAP. SAP, the one thing that made structural adjustment program in the 80s fail, he lived it, I had to read about it, was the fact that they did not reverse, we were unable to liberalize the market. The politically connected kept lobbying, because His Royal Majesty Obalufalaye, I spoke with him when I was in Nigeria a few months ago, where he spoke about the reasons why those things failed, because what we did in SAP is similar to what we are doing right now. And he then set out to end bureaucratic tyranny, which is why I feel like the greatest blunder of the Nigerian Fourth Republic was failure to elect that man in 1999. Because this bureaucratic tyranny was what ended SAP, was what ended the Babangida regime that led to the conduction of the election. There was the anti-SAP protest a few weeks before I was born in 1989. So these things are what is causing this. This is the major factor. Like I said, the woman that was a member of our group that got me involved in this in the final term of it was just trying to buy some foodstuff at home. When I go to Walmart or whatever, sometimes I use my credit card to buy foodstuff, and within a month, if I pay it back, I don't even pay any interest in it. Within a month, if I pay back my credit card, that is how it is. I pay 0 interest and I get a bonus for even using the credit card. So when we have so expensive goods that Nigerians need to survive, why would they not desperately go and borrow money from loan sharks without thinking about what they have to pay back at the end of the day? And we also, as Nigerians, we need to destigmatize this old defamation that these people do. Let them know, like Fela said, it is stalemate when they call you. When they call you to tell you your friend is owing money, tell them stalemate. That one don't ever miss call.
Marindoti,
Yes.
let me bring in this
It's
question. Thank you so much, Gino. I'm hoping that Nigerians who are watching this would get more information as to the operation of these loan apps. But I think the first thing we are agreeing is that taking loans is not a crime, right? I mean, it's done all over the world. So we asked you the question of regulators. Aren't they aware that this is in existence in the first place? Who then is to go against or after these loan operators? You allegedly mentioned the Chinese nationals as the ones who are behind the scenes here. We don't know that yet. However, who is supposed to go against them, to nab them and get them to either stop this or operate it the right way? That's one. Number two, where then can Nigerians go for to get loans if they need a loan? Where is the appropriate place to go to, and how do we access one?
Well, thank you. It's a gamut of operators that can step in. First off, the CBN is the one that regulates and gives them the rights to every financial institution. They are the ones that came up with all the guys that capped any fee on any loan at 2% for whatever all the fees. And they said if you want to bring in new fee, you have to come and get approval from them. That is what was in their guide to charges that was released January 1, 2020. So they have a role to play in this. The Federal Consumer and what's it called, CFCCP or whatever, FCCP, Federal Consumer and whatever that it's a mouthpiece or something. FCCPC, exactly. Consumer and Credit Protection Commission. They have a role to protect the consumers from, both usurious, loans and also these harassments and defamation and the breach of data, because privacy is a very important thing. They release your data, BVN, everything, post your obituary, send it to people. Those people have a role to do in it. Now, we also have FIRS. Think about it. They are saying they are collecting this fee, that fee. They are making money, right? They have an obligation, making money off of Nigerians to pay tax. So Zacchaeus Adedeji, the chairman of FIRS, also has a role in it. Maybe with this new law that they've passed, because they will have to get, they'll be getting notification based on bank transactions. Maybe this will help the FIRS to also intervene, but they also have a role in it. What about the IGP and the Nigerian Police Force? What about the EFCC? These are economic and financial crimes. Why are they not going after this? But this is the truth. Everybody knows that there is a paucity of trust between the Nigerian people and the government. That is why I am someone who does not believe in the passivity of action. I believe that I have a role to, like Jay-Z said, nobody built like you, you design yourself. I have a role in designing my own destiny. That is why I am not waiting, and I am telling Nigerians not to wait on the regulators who might not care so much about their job. And when we talk about government, people always think to the president. This is not the role of the president. The attorney generals of the state also can step in and sue these people, because states in Nigeria also have a role in setting interest rates and not within their borders, so they can defend the people. But we have a system whereby the government does not
Dr.
Marindoti,
I think you've spoken largely about that and they've heard. Let's talk about how can we get loans. If I want to access loan now, where do I go to?
Yeah, definitely the commercial banks, the regular commercial banks, and the cooperatives that Nigerian, the cooperatives are the best, definitely, because these are a group of Nigerians that come together and they make it very low interest loan, and there's a lot of compassion in it. And even if you miss payment, the interest that climbs on top of it, they are not so high. So if you can form a cooperative, that is going to be very, very, very good. There are a lot of people who are doing loan businesses that are legitimate, who are even individual. Some of them that are not even licensed, but they have compassion and they do it the right way. Do you get that? Those are ones. The microfinance banks also, they are legitimate. It's just that it takes time to be able to get those loans. The regular bank, the commercial banks too, they are also places that you can go, but the problem is that they deny you. I told you just earlier that when I was a doctor, as a doctor, I went to one of the banks. I won't mention the name, but I remember the name of the bank that I was banking with, that could see my salary coming in, and told them I am a doctor. If you look at the way the bank guy that I was talking to looked at me like, you want to collect loan.
Marindoti, hold on a second. Let me bring this in again. Hold on a second, please. So if the lacuna is that the regular commercial and microfinance bank takes time before they can disburse loans, which is what then these loan apps found and ran in to do a quick loan disbursement. So how can we then bridge that gap so that we Nigerians can get access, get loans through the right channels?
It's very difficult to get loans, actually. Very, very difficult for the common Nigerian to get loans.
You're right, and that is why what the president has started, and that is why I've been talking about all this liberalization, so that Nigerians can get respite and re-elect the president, so that he can, continue the reformation. The consumer loan program that he started, that is headed currently by an OAU alumni and Tinuke, is something that is going to really help Nigeria on the long run. But it will take time, because one of the reasons why the loan interest rate is also high in Nigeria is because all loans are high risk loans. So that agency is going to help borrowers have background information about the people that they are borrowing from, so that their address, if they can unify all addresses, their address, their work, so that you can reduce the interest rate. So it will take time. We have to build the infrastructure that will help us.
Dr. Marindoti, because of our time, I just wanted to quickly respond to this, because when you said that, there are legitimate places to get loans, interest rate currently is 27.50%, and that's way too high. And there is another bank, some of these Islamic banking, where they lend you money interest-free, and a whole lot of people are going there. What exactly would you say to this? Because do you see it as a viable alternative where you get loans and then what you pay back is what you've received as loan?
Yeah, I mean, in Japan, you borrow money and you pay less back because they have like a negative interest at a period of time. But one of the things that you say is Islamic bank, yes, because of the Islamic law that you must not borrow money for interest and you must not collect interest. They are an avenue, but how many people will be able to have access to that? It's not like the Islamic bank they are super flush with cash that they don't know what to do. So the stuff is that the truth about Nigeria right now is that loan is not worth it because of the percentage that interest that you have to pay back. There's hardly ever any business that will give you 100% profit within a year. So at the end of the day, by the time you look at the interest that you have to pay back, it is like you are working for the banks.
Dr.
So if
Marindoti.
Nigerians can find a way to cut their expenditure so that they don't have to take loan, that would be a much better way out.
Right. Convener, Social Rehabilitation, Grace and Support Initiative, Dr. Oludare Marindoti, thank you so much for your keenness of insight, on this very, very important topic, because even some people that are getting loan are only using it to buy food. But then, thank you. It's a very convenient way to relieve it. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
And stay with us here on TVC Breakfast. Still to come. With dialysis treatment now subsidized, kidney patients across Nigeria can finally breathe a sigh of relief. Let's focus after this break. Stay with us.